Before I share this story, understand one key thing. When my wife switched the call to speaker that night to shame me in front of her group, she believed she was finishing our marriage in just 13 seconds. In truth, she triggered an escape plan I had carefully constructed over the previous 11 months. Let me begin from the start, because this background turns the conclusion so much more satisfying. It happened on a Tuesday night, roughly 8:30. I sat at my workstation in the home study, going over financial papers the way I usually did each evening. My phone buzzed. It was Vanessa. I answered, and right away I caught the sound of giggling, glasses touching, and the lively hum of a fancy dining spot behind her. Before I could even greet her, she spoke in a dramatic, amplified tone, declaring our relationship finished, instructing me never to reach out again, to simply let go. Laughter followed instantly. Her companions were howling in the background, as though it ranked among the most hilarious moments they'd ever seen. She had deliberately placed me on speaker. This wasn't a confidential talk. This was a show. She chose to dissolve our marriage as amusement for her weekend brunch circle. I remained seated for a second, absorbing their amusement. One friend muttered something unclear, sparking another round of uproarious laughter. Vanessa soaked up every bit of it. I imagined her clearly, phone placed centrally on the table, cocktail glass in grip, reveling in the spotlight. This represented her spotlight, her grand performance. I inhaled slowly and responded with the steadiest tone possible, saying I accepted it. Then I ended the call. Silence filled the line, their chuckles ceased. I stayed motionless in the quiet of our home, eyes fixed on the device. For several moments I simply sat. Then I reached into the lowest drawer of my desk and retrieved a hefty envelope marked Exit V11. 11 months of groundwork. 11 months filled with records, court preparations, monetary reorganization, and backup measures. I had anticipated precisely this instant, not wishing for it but readying myself for it. Because I understood Vanessa. I grasped her patterns, and I recognized that sooner or later she would pull exactly this kind of stunt. Allow me to step back and describe who Vanessa truly was. Publicly, she presented herself as a lifestyle content creator and sponsored representative. Behind the facade, she functioned as an entertainer who turned every second of existence into material. Every meal became a picture opportunity. Every disagreement turned into footage for an emotional recounting clip. Our relationship never functioned as teamwork. It served as her platform, while I remained a minor, repeated extra. She maintained 28,000 Instagram followers. She created paid promotions for beauty products and small-scale workout venues. She attended gatherings, posed for lenses, and projected ease in everything. Yet privately, I covered every expense. The residence, the vehicle, the outfits, the getaways, the lighting equipment, the camera operators she brought in for shooting sessions. I operated a medium-scale supply chain advisory business. I earned solid income. She generated practically zero. Still, she spent as though we both commanded high salaries. Our paths crossed 4 years earlier at a fundraising event. She assisted as an organizer, and I attended on behalf of my firm. She came across as captivating, full of vitality, and strikingly attractive. I appeared reserved, sensible, and admittedly somewhat isolated. We wedded following 12 months of courtship. During the initial year and a half, matters proceeded decently. Not flawless, but acceptable. Then her Instagram presence expanded. Brand deals arrived. She left her casual employment to pursue online creation exclusively. That marked the turning point. Abruptly, our whole existence needed to appear visually perfect. The residents stayed perpetually prepared for filming. Our travels ceased being relaxation. They transformed into production outings. I couldn't prepare morning food without her arranging it for an artistic shot. Every discussion revolved around interaction numbers and platform updates. I stopped being her spouse. I became her unpaid coordinator and bankroller, and honestly, supporting her initially felt fine. I believed we were creating jointly. Gradually, however, I understood she built nothing lasting. She simply acted, and I financed the production. The decisive moment arrived roughly 12 months prior. We clashed over finances. I proposed establishing spending limits, since her outlays had grown excessive. She stared at me as though I had attacked her core identity, insisting I failed to comprehend brand development requirements. Afterward, she uploaded a cryptic Instagram update concerning poisonous spouses who withhold dream encouragement. That evening, I resolved to act. I began recording every detail, all transactions, all possessions, all credentials, all profiles. I met with an attorney. I reorganized our monetary setup. I shifted resources into a personal family trust established years before. I revised recipients. I altered access codes. I reassigned the home's ownership deed to the trust. All accomplished discreetly and systematically, while she uploaded workout images and product reveal clips. The attorney I chose had known me for a long time. Upon my initial visit and explanation, he showed zero astonishment, remarking that I wasn't the first man to occupy that seat with an identical account. He assisted in crafting the departure blueprint, Edition 1, then Edition 2. By Edition 11, the design became unbreakable. The trust existed long before marital doubts surfaced. Named the August Trust after my father, he single-handedly raised me following my mother's departure at age 6. He held dual employment, complained never, and ensured my needs were met. A heart attack claimed him at my age 23, and I always intended to honor him somehow. The trust aimed to assist solo dads, legal help, accommodation aid, childcare resources. Support my father lacked. I financed it personally, and it expanded steadily. When I sensed our union spiraling downward, I spotted a chance. Should Vanessa destroy everything, I would channel the outcome toward positive impact. The residence, bought 5 years earlier, prior to meeting her, would now fulfill genuine value. Seated at my desk with the Exit V11 file before me, I began contacting people. First, I terminated the credit card she relied on. Next, I instructed the realty service to replace the residence locks. I reached the auto insurer and deleted her from the BMW leasing policy. I canceled streaming platforms, fitness club access, online backup services, the prepared meal program she'd used for 24 months. Step by step, I disassembled the framework sustaining her way of living. The process required roughly 90 minutes. By 10 o'clock, Vanessa retained control over virtually nothing bearing her name alone. And since nearly everything stood outside her name, she retained virtually nothing. I gathered belongings. I collected my computer, clothing, and select personal belongings. I summoned my dog Chester, a 7-year-old golden retriever who'd been my closest companion well before Vanessa appeared. I guided him into the vehicle, rubbed his ears, and explained we were leaving for good. He wagged enthusiastically as though comprehending. Then I exited that residence permanently. Driving off, I experienced an emotion absent for years. Liberation. No fury, no grief, merely peaceful, distinct liberation. She believed she had shamed me publicly among her circle. She believed she seized story control. She believed victory belonged to her, yet her action merely granted the signal I awaited. The following morning, her mother would contact her. And upon doing so, Vanessa would grasp that the reserved man she humiliated via speaker had stayed far ahead throughout. She craved drama. Instead, she received education concerning legal agreements. The next morning, I arrived at my attorney's office precisely at 9. We arranged the appointment 3 weeks prior, dependent on Vanessa initiating, and she complied precisely on time. My attorney passed a pile of paperwork indicating signature spots. I signed. Instantly, the residence transferred formally to August trust possession. The dwelling became charitable property committed to aiding single fathers. Vanessa's name never appeared on ownership records. She remained unaware. She never inquired. She simply presumed that residing there, styling it, and recording inside every space somehow granted ownership. It did not. Within 60 minutes, my attorney's firm distributed a media statement announcing a regional business owner, gifting a $1.3 million residence to organizations assisting single fathers. Distributed to area media, local sites, and nonprofit channels. By midday, it trended locally on Twitter. By 2 o'clock, 3 television outlets covered it. The title suited perfectly, describing a man relinquishing his upscale home to benefit single dads. They displayed residence images. They spoke with the trust's leader. They labeled me a modest giver. It felt perfect. Meanwhile, Vanessa endured an entirely contrasting morning. I learned this because her mother phoned me at 10:15, shouting fiercely enough that I held the receiver distant. But I'm jumping forward. Let me describe Vanessa's morning based on later reconstruction. She awoke near 9, still buoyant from the previous evening. Likely she viewed her phone, noticed story responses, and sensed main character energy. Then she headed to her regular coffee location. She attempted payment using her habitual card. Declined. She attempted a backup card. Declined. Probably she chuckled initially, assuming security notification or technical error. Then she accessed her banking app. Entry blocked. Credentials invalid. Panic emerged. She hurried back. She attempted door entry. Key failed. Locks altered overnight. She remained on the entrance step, bewildered and enraged, dialing me repeatedly. I ignored every ring. She persisted again and again. I directed each attempt to voicemail. Then notifications overwhelmed her device. Companions messaged. Mother phoned. Sister forwarded captures, which captures. The media announcement. News pieces. Online discussions. Her entire network viewed headlines concerning charitable home donation. Vanessa's identity absent from coverage. Her mother finally connected and erupted, berating her for permitting me to transfer the residence, questioning her sanity and awareness of the loss. Vanessa attempted justification, that she initiated the split, controlled events held authority. Her mother interrupted, shouting ownership never existed, never would, and reminding her to review documents at marriage time. That instant Vanessa comprehended her grave error. She loaded the news piece and reread it repeatedly, then examined comments. People hailed me as admirable, praised the trust. Some, recognizing her from Instagram, began linking details. One remark wondered whether it belonged to the content creator. Another noted her recent single and flourishing update. Someone responded imagining abandoning a spouse, then watching him gift the residence charitably. That remark earned 200 likes rapidly. Then somebody captured her previous night's speaker call and juxtaposed it with the announcement. Caption declared she genuinely believed she succeeded. It amassed 15,000 views quickly. Vanessa's Instagram flooded. Users placed news links in comments. They tagged her in humorous edits. One profile created clip, superimposing her face on weeping emoji alongside caption about attempting to humiliate husband while he strategized masterfully. It spread widely. She began shedding followers, not massively initially but noticeably. Then partnerships withdrew, worse followed. Recall those audio notes she sent over the prior year. The ones labeling me dull, pointless, merely a financial source lacking spark. I preserved every one, secured copies, and anonymously forwarded them to select individuals in her career network. The nonprofit committee she aided, the publicity firm representing her, the boutique exercise brand collaborating with her. One clip stated if I vanished she'd feel only relief, terming me an emotionless cash machine. Another described me as mechanical corporate figure, blind to genuine imagination. Those recordings reached appropriate recipients. Abruptly, organizations witnessed alternate Vanessa. The nonprofit committee discreetly erased her online presence. The publicity firm emailed brief representation cancellation. The exercise brand issued notice separating from misaligned ambassadors. She faced gradual removal from every professional tie cultivated. She resisted. She contacted counsel demanding explanation for home removal. Counsel clarified known facts. Ownership shifted to trust 8 months earlier. Prenuptial agreement signed pre-wedding. The one overlooked amid wedding content planning. Explicitly protected premarital holdings and business-derived property as mine. She relinquished claims unknowingly. Counsel stated zero viable lawsuit. Pursuing would cost unaffordable fees with guaranteed defeat. She disconnected and hurled device. By days close, Vanessa lacked funds access, residence entry, vehicle, endorsements, and faced social media backlash. Restaurant companions who found prior night hilarious now ignored calls. Because association with fresh public disgrace repels people, she desired spectacle. She desired notice. She desired starring role in breakup tale and received it, merely opposite imagined outcome. Headline focused not on creator leaving dull partner and flourishing. Instead, woman forfeiting everything post-husband humiliation via speaker. Online audience adored it. 3 days post-announcement, Vanessa acted desperately. She appeared at residence. Not hers anymore, yet she viewed it so. She obtained updated entry codes somehow, likely neighbor or acquaintance. Entered anticipating belongings, decor, curated spaces. Instead encountered property showing. Families explored premises. Trust staff guided tour, detailing future temporary shelter and aid for struggling single fathers. Parents and children passed kitchen where Vanessa filmed routine clips. They inspected bedrooms used for clothing displays. Strangers stood in wardrobe discussing ample space. Vanessa halted at entrance. One family noticed and offered courteous smile. Likely assuming volunteer, Trust staff approached, identified her instantly, presented envelope from me. Her name, Sophie, Assistant Trust Director, longtime colleague. Sophie remained expressionless, offered no comfort, merely delivered envelope and departed. Vanessa tore it open in entryway, contained printed capture. Screenshot from her Instagram update, the night she ended things via speaker. Image of her group laughing, glasses lifted, caption celebrating freedom. Below, single handwritten line advising careful attention to surroundings and agreements. Vanessa gazed fixedly. Hands trembled. Sophie returned delivering my requested message. I harbored no rage, merely completion. Then Sophie resumed guiding. Vanessa lingered another minute, surveying former home. Observing strangers traverse spaces curated years for content. Then departed. Took nothing, created no disturbance. Merely exited and entered sister's vehicle, lacking personal transport now. Over following 14 days, remaining world disintegrated. Online criticism persisted. TikTok clips circulated. Reddit discussions analyzed events. One relationship forum thread earned 50,000 upvotes titled "Man whose spouse ended marriage jokingly via speaker, then donated residence charitably next day." Remarks harsh. Some labeled her superficial. Others declared deserved outcome. Few defended overwhelmed. Instagram turned barren. Posts ceased. Followers fell from 28,000 to 19,000 in 10 days. Prospective brands vanished entirely. Content creator circle that once boosted her distanced rapidly. None wished link to cautionary figure. Mother ceased communication. Sister permitted temporary couch stay but emphasized brevity. Restaurant night companions who deemed breakup call amusing gradually excluded her. Truth about Vanessa types. When identity rests entirely on display and image, perception shift leaves emptiness. She wasn't individual to them, merely persona. Once persona ceased entertaining, they departed. Meanwhile, I resided in peaceful downtown unit with Chester. Absent drama, absent clamor, absent lenses. Daytime work, evening dog walks, weekend meals with brother, renewed gym routine, reading long postponed books, sound sleep first time in months, trust flourished. Contributions tripled following media exposure. Assisted 4 households initial month. Father would feel pride. Never contacted Vanessa again. Unnecessary, nothing remained unsaid. She selected her path, chose display over collaboration, chose notice over dignity. Performance conclusion left her empty-handed. I attempted genuine construction with her. Backed ambitions, financed goals, requested solely mutual regard. She couldn't provide even that. Thus I departed, not from wrath, not vengeance, merely weariness. Often loudest voice assumes total authority, yet quietest individual holds real control. Vanessa sought spectacle. I delivered instruction. Ultimately sole survivor, person quietly readying throughout. What are your thoughts on this tale? Share below, hit like, and subscribe for additional true accounts. Length, paragraph breaks, and overall structure preserved identically.